Andy, thank you so much for joining CEOwise.
Thank you. Thanks, Dan, for inviting me.
Pleasure. Now, you've been instrumental in building cycling in South Africa ever since you became a Springbok cyclist in 1988. Was it an easy transition as making cycling your career?
Firstly, that's a big accolade to give me. I certainly haven't. I've been a small cog in a big cassette, and I've been absolutely passionate about cycling. I always say to people, I'm lucky I've never ever worked a day in my life because it's my passion, riding my bike, racing my bike, and I'm a thank God it's Monday guy because I enjoy being in my stores, I enjoy bicycles, and I genuinely believe that bicycles can change people's lives, and so it's been a very easy transition because that's all I know.
Yeah, and that's your life, I guess.
Absolutely, and as I say, I don't work, I just do what I love doing.
Yeah. So you started Cycle Lab in 1995, and then you sold it to the Moore Group in 2013, and to own the Pro Shop.
Yes.
Now, I read somewhere where you said it's much better to get say 10% of an industry as opposed to like 100% of nothing.
Absolutely. So I had some very long sleepless nights, whether I should sell my baby that started in my garage, and looking back now in hindsight, it was certainly one of the best decisions I've ever made. I thought I knew a little bit about retail, and I soon learned that I knew actually very little. What the guys from the Pro Shop had forgotten about retail, I still had to learn. And I think cycling is probably 15 years behind golf. So it's been an unbelievable experience. I certainly wouldn't like to have competed with them. They were coming anyway.
Okay.
And if they'd opened, the new store is 400 or 500 meters from our old store. If they'd opened up the road, I would have had some serious challenges. So it's been absolutely fantastic. I've grown with them, and the beauty of it is do a lot more of what I'm passionate about and enjoy doing, and a lot of the jobs as a small entrepreneurial business you have to do because there's no one else to do it. Now we have departments who handle it and do it really well, and I can concentrate on what I hopefully do well.
Yeah, sure. And you changed from having the smaller Cycle Lab stores to these mega stores. Now, how different is it from running a smaller shop to a much larger one?
Well, it's actually easier, believe it or not, because you have someone who does the marketing, and he does the marketing for all our stores, and the merch department comes in and merches, and they do. So you end up doing a smaller portfolio, but concentrating on that and doing it really well. And hopefully, if you get your staffing right, everybody's doing something that they're really passionate about doing. And if everybody's passionate and everyone's doing it really well, the sum of that makes for hopefully a successful business. And we believe that the model of the mega store, in other words, choice of brands, it's worth driving past 5 or 10 RBDs, because when I get there, I know I'm going to have choice. Our USPs are things like money back guarantee. We won't be beaten on price. We use the latest tech for bike setup. We have a Cycle Lab club. We'll give you a training program. So it's a lot more. Our store is a lot more than just a retail, there's your bike, good luck and goodbye.
Yes.
We believe in an ecosystem, and we believe that we will help you change your life with a bicycle.
Yeah. Well, you've just answered my next question. Is with the industry of cycling that's booming or has boomed, there are so many smaller local bike shops popping up everywhere. I think in the 10-kilometer radius of your Linwood megastore, I think it must be about 5 or 10 shops. So how do you stay competitive? And you just answered that by all those value adds.
Absolutely. So we're not only in the retail business. It's just one very, very small aspect of our business. We've got 4 legs to our chair or our table, and we work equally hard. So you've got to be invested in the club. You've got to be invested in events. You've got to have all these other parts of the cycling ecosystem so that people buy their bicycle, but they use it. The worst possible thing for us as a business is you buy a bicycle, you go out for your first ride, you pull the front brake and you go over the handlebars and say, this is terrible, I've got a black eye, this is a scary sport, it's not for me. We even will give you a free skills lesson to make sure that you know how to ride your bike and ride it safely.
Wow.
And now we're starting to give you training programs, online training programs. We'll reward you for shopping more with us. We'll reward you for riding more. So we're able to, through different mechanisms, see how much you're riding and reward you, because the more you ride, the more likely you are to interact with us, and we'll reward you for that.
CycleLab has an online store as well as the brick and mortar one. Now, in this day and age, what is easier to run? Is the online store or the same to run?
So to us, the online store is just another store.
Okay.
You've got to treat your online store exactly as you would treat any super mega store.
Okay.
Good people, good systems, good process, good USPs, money back guarantees, all the normal stuff. What you do find though is an online shopping is still fairly small. You know, if you're buying a new helmet, you want to see what color blue it is. You want to see if it really fits. What does it look like on my head?
Sure.
So you might shop online to look at product and to look at the market and the price and what's available and the latest tech or whatever it is, but you often still come in store to purchase.
You've learned some hard lessons over the years, like everyone in business, and like me, you've had someone who have taken care of the finances. Now, in that regard, what main thing have you learned? What's been your biggest lesson?
So let me start off by saying I've made more mistakes than anybody knows. And for me, it's really simple. Every mistake is a learning opportunity, and I embrace it. If I make the same mistake twice, though, then I'm really stupid, and then I've got to worry about myself.
Yeah.
My weakness, without a doubt, was that I was a pro cyclist, and I got into training people, and then it became a shop, and it grew from there. And I should have done some kind of financial course. Financially, if there's one area of the business I've always been weak at, it's the finances. Luckily, where I am now, we have a FD and people who do it really well. But in the past, I've had to trust other people, and I've been let down a few times and lost some money along the way because I wasn't financially astute enough to pick up certain trends and things that were happening in the business. So my advice for a young entrepreneur is, even if finance is not your passion, do a course, do an online course, do a Damlin or one of these courses, and get some kind of financial understanding so that you can at least read your balance sheets and understand and pick up before something goes wrong.
Well, there's so many online courses now. I mean, It doesn't take long to just pick it up.
No, absolutely.
In dealing with scale of a business, what has been the biggest factor or change in going from one shop to two? So I presume if you go from 2 to 3, it's not a big
So there are some challenges, but the way that the world economy is going at the moment is the disintermediation of the middleman has just become a have to. We're competing on price with Chain Reactions and Wiggles of the world, which are huge internet-based businesses. So we've got to be able to match their prices. And the only way you can do that is with scale, and that's why we have megastores and we have them in all the major cities. And there's absolutely no doubt that we already import some of our own product, and we will import more and more of our own product. So a brand like KTM, for instance, we import from Austria, and we will build that portfolio up. And it was really important for us to get all our big mega stores up and running so that we'd have enough scale to make it a viable business. And believe it or not, now it actually becomes easier to run a business like that.
Okay.